If you want to transform the world, try first promoting your personal improvement and making changes within yourself. These actions will reflect in positive changes in your family environment. From this point on, the changes will expand in ever-increasing proportions. Everything we do produces an effect, causes some impact. Dalai Lama. Since childhood, what we think about ourselves defines our life experience. But after all, what does it mean to value yourself? Valuing yourself is recognizing that you are worthy of respect, love, and admiration. It's seeing yourself as deserving of interesting opportunities, capable of achieving challenging goals, and understanding your particularities as a synonym for authenticity. In summary, valuing yourself means being at peace with your own characteristics, seeking a life that aligns with this sense of self-love. If you're doing a good job in this regard, congratulations. It means you have discovered the secret to well-being. Health, because if you value yourself, you take care of yourself. And happiness, because you make positive choices. But if you believe you can go beyond where you are, that there is room for a more evolved self-acceptance, take a look at the tips below. They are ways to learn to value yourself that you should start considering from now on. Don't confuse a loss of humility with learning to value yourself. It's important to start with this clarification. Many people, at first, imagine an inflated ego as a synonym for self-worth. But self-worth has nothing to do with arrogance. In fact, self-worth is a clear understanding that you are as important, talented, and unique as anyone else you know. It's not about thinking in terms of competition or comparison. Instead, it's about affirming yourself as a being whose story is also beautiful and worth living. There's a difference between being arrogant about yourself as a person and being confident that your work has some value. The first is not attractive. The second is healthy and natural. This quote belongs to Jeffrey Zeldman. Exercise your decision-making ability. Listen to your desires. Pay attention to your perceptions and feelings about the choices life presents to you. This includes everything from trivial situations like deciding what clothes to wear to more complex circumstances, like determining the course of your professional career. Start observing your daily life. How many decisions are you delegating? What are you allowing others to decide for you? Where is the opinion of others determining what you choose to do, where, or change? Making your own decisions is a true elixir for boosting self-esteem, because it shows that you trust your reasoning power. It gives voice to your identity, and it breaks the limitations you impose on yourself, just to avoid clashing with the preferences and judgments of others. Recognize yourself. Self-knowledge is one of the best paths to personal value. You've probably been through some interviews in life. You've seen yourself writing short biographies for social media profiles. You've answered random questions from countless people who have asked about your tastes, personal characteristics, and significant events. But have you ever tried being your own interviewer? Well, if you want to learn how to value yourself, you need to know who you are, without pre-packaged answers. The kind that seem appropriate but don't reveal what you really think and feel deep down. To help you ask yourself good questions, you can look for self-analysis questionnaires online. Another suggestion is to make use of books that offer creative self-reflection exercises. Step out of the discomfort zone. It's common for people to use the term comfort zone to refer to circumstances they're accustomed to. This includes jobs, relationships, behaviors, in short, everything that shapes our daily lives. We have a video here on the channel where we talk in simple terms about how to step out of the comfort zone. The link is below in the description. However, if you are truly comfortable with your choices, it doesn't seem like there's a problem with that. What you need to face are your zones of discomfort. In other words, confront the SOSO parts of your life. If you believe there must be something better than this, it's probably because there is. Learning to value yourself means stopping the act of pretending to be satisfied when, deep down, you know you're settling for less. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it's a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't leave, you will certainly endure many years of suffering with them. Walking away might hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will realize that you don't need to rely on others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. Gather evidence of your faulty assumptions. That's right. Put your memory to work and recall those situations that made you suffer in anticipation. You spent hours or days, imagining the worst was going to happen, but later discovered that your negative thoughts were nothing more than a guessing game that reality didn't confirm. The point is, to learn to value yourself, you need to get rid of these so-called dysfunctional thoughts. When we allow these thoughts to be our advisors, we end up acting and feeling as if they were established truths. However, they are simply pessimistic hypotheses that limit your self-confidence. To combat them, argue with facts. Show yourself that you've been wrong many times when giving credit to the idea of a bleak future that never came to be. Accept compliments. Want to learn to value yourself? Then accept it when others value you. Embrace the good things and positive traits that others appreciate in you. See compliments as kindnesses you should embrace and internalize. Is it difficult for you to see compliments as truths about yourself? Then decide from now on to practice accepting good comments. With time, you will develop this good habit. It's as simple as that. Avoid comparisons. If there's one attitude that does nothing to help self-worth, it's comparisons. In fact, the effect of comparing yourself to others is exactly the opposite. It leads to self-devaluation. Understand that each individual has their own journey. Just because you and a colleague are the same age doesn't mean you should be at the same level in your careers, for example. Therefore, strive to grow for yourself and not to match others. See yourself as a work in progress. Don't demand perfection from yourself. You need to make mistakes. You need to take risks and sometimes lose. You need to hear no, say no, understand that sometimes things take time to work out. And if all of this happens, it's because you're taking action. You're seeking your well-being. When you see yourself as a project in development instead of a finished product, you understand that you need to learn to value yourself in the process, in your ability to change and be resilient. Not just when you reach the final goal. Take the weight off your shoulders of having to be complete, flawless, the greatest expert. Don't place the joy of your existence on the person you want to become, but on the journey you create and recreate to get there. Forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness is another fundamental attitude for valuing yourself. So, if you're holding on to some resentment and blaming yourself for something that happened, understand that every human being makes mistakes. Perhaps if it were someone else who had acted the same way, you would have already forgiven them. Take this exercise in perspective and reflect on this. Aren't you being harsher on yourself than you are on others? Forgiving yourself is not easy. A good practice that can help you with self-forgiveness is Ho'oponopono. Here on the channel, we have a video where we teach how to use this technique to clear and unblock your life in all areas. To conclude, here's a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So, how about stopping giving that consent? It's all up to you. If this content resonated with you, pass it on by sending it to your friends and sharing it through your social media.